Sup Dudes, I'm Nate Heater.
And I'm Frank Lamontia.
And we are the Sup Dudes. Coming at you from my car, in a parking lot, at a movie theater. You know what that means? Everyone say it with me? Movie review time! Woo! There's a little bit of a pause at that time.
Who, me?
No, like both of us. I think we just both
That's all right.
like dramatic pause.
Well, it was lightning.
Yeah, that's also too. And we just saw Malignant.
Malignant!
Not Maleficent, Malignant.
Yes.
You gotta, they get mixed, they're too close to sounding like you said.
Not at all. Anyway, Malignant!
So,
All right.
we were arguing back and forth about how to describe this movie, but Frank says he knows how to describe it, so I'm going to let him take it away.
Well, it's basically, I mean, I'm not going to veer too much from the trailer. It's about this woman, Madison, and she experiences these kind of like visions of murders. And
It's starting to storm.
Yes, it's starting to rain. So that's basically the gist of it without giving away too much.
It's hard to describe the movie without giving away a crucial part. So
it turns out that the murders that she's experiencing in like a very surreal way, and they do it kind of nice.
Yeah.
Actually happen. So anyway, that's the gist of the main part of the movie.
Lightning.
All right, now I guess we
Just jump into your goods.
as far as horror movies go. If you've seen any of the other
Horror movie reviews
that we've done, I don't expect much from horror movies these days because they always disappoint me. So because of that, there was another one that rated fairly well because of the same reason. Since I don't expect much, it doesn't take much to make a good horror movie for me anymore, because if they go above my low expectations, then I'm satisfied. And this movie did that.
I'm thinking that's either Don't Breathe 2 or
Don't
The Unholy.
The Unholy was the one. Don't Breathe 2 was good.
It's a horror movie.
Good. Outright good, though.
All right.
It was good. Anyway, so in this one, there was a lot of very interesting things going on. I don't even know how to describe some of this stuff. The concept, I think, is extremely original.
Yeah.
And some of the way the things were shot were amazing. The gore factor is fantastic, which is, for me, is very important. The opening scene. All right, I mix. So
Yeah.
the opening scenes, a lot of overacting, and I'm sure it was on purpose. Now that I look back, to kind of set it in a different time, and because it did take place years before the main part of the film.
Yeah.
So it's since it's the first thing you see, it's kind of annoying, but then later you kind of say, okay, it kind of detaches it for that reason. But anyway, so all in all, I enjoyed it. I really enjoyed it. It gets annoying in a few spots, a little confusing, kind of a couple of plot holes here and there, but overall, good movie.
All right. I'll just jump into my goods and bads because you just kind of did both.
It's hard to say one without the other for me.
Goods. The concept I absolutely loved. I've never seen a movie with this concept before.
No.
And
not that we've seen every movie out there.
No,
maybe we might be totally off base here.
It could be some indie movie that we don't know about, but I've never seen a movie with this kind of a concept before, so it gets a plus for me in that because I like original movies. Everything is just the same old anymore, especially horror movies.
Yes.
Because how many slashers, slash them up, kill them kind of horror movies are there out there?
That's one of the downsides for me. They're not terribly original, and this one is.
This one's original, so it gets a plus for me from that. For a horror movie, it has good fight scenes. I will say that. Has good fight scenes.
It does.
And I want to say the person who plays the main character towards the end, without ruining anything.
Okay.
The person who did that, if you watch this movie, you will see how much work that person had to put in, because Like, you know what I'm talking about. Like,
Yes, I do.
what he had to overcome and to make it look like genuine, make it look authentic, make it look smooth.
Yeah, I wonder if some of it was CGI now.
I think
if it wasn't. It was pretty impressive.
I think I know a way how they kind of did it, but I'm not 100% sure.
All
But also gore. I guess I'll say that I like every now and then a good amount of gore. It's good with that. And I guess a couple of the camera shots were not too bad. There wasn't a lot that really impressed me for the camera shots, but all in all, that's my goods. My bads. Here we go. First, before I jump into that, special effects in the movie, top notch. Top notch special effects in this movie, bump it up. Here's where it all goes downhill. I feel as though too much CGI. There was too much CGI for me that it took me out of it a lot, especially when it came to the blood. There was a lot of blood, like when it was like squirting out of people. I can say that without ruining anything, right?
Yeah.
When it came
It's a horror
to
movie, people get killed.
when it came to the blood squirting out,
There will be blood.
there just seemed to be too much CGI, and it just, I know it's fake, it's a movie, but it just looked even more. It looked like how a college student would put in blood for a movie without getting all the rest of like their like bedroom, their apartment, their dorm all bloody. So there's something with that the CGI blood just didn't fit right with me. And then a lot of the CGIs during a lot of the fights didn't care for as well. Also will say, every now and then this movie was either winning me back or losing me. It was a lot.
There was some back and forth with that.
There was a lot of times where it's like I hated the movie, I kind of liked it. I hated it, I kind of liked it. Towards the end, I liked it a little bit more, but then it got too cheesy and silly that I was like, it lost me again.
It did get cheesy at the end.
It was, and when I talk about like a literal roller coaster, like loved it, hate it, loved it, hate it, loved it, hate it, and it just with a movie like that, like it has to hold my attention. And the only reason it held my attention for so long was because I wanted to see how the story ended, like what was going on in the story. That was the only reason why it kept me interested. Like nothing else really. Not really many of the characters. The acting wasn't that good. It was just like I needed an answer.
Yeah. Once the story started to unfold, you kind of wanted to know where it was leading.
So
it wasn't. It didn't lose me where I didn't care anymore. It did lose me in a couple of spots where like, all right, whatever. But
yeah, but
it did pull me back in.
It kept winning and losing me, and I can't give a good rating for a movie that just kept losing my interest a lot.
Yeah, but that was part of to me, that's part of the fun. I think it was intentionally, like with the CGI, with the blood and stuff. I think that was intentional. I wouldn't call it necessarily campy.
Oh, when they did when they used like practical blood, it was amazing.
Practical blood?
Practical special effects blood.
But I don't know. I'm surprised you didn't mention this in some of the so-called fight scenes or the killing scenes. Actually, they weren't really fights; they were just killing.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
A little bit of fighting. You know, there was some resistance to the killing, but
every now and then
it did seem like the camera cuts were a little thing, but I think that added to the bizarreness of the movie.
Yeah, that's why
it is a bizarre movie.
I noticed that now that you mentioned it.
Yeah,
and I couldn't really say anything to that.
It's not. Like I said, it's not totally campy, but you kind of think of like the Japanese
Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon.
No, not even that. The comic book type of stuff that Quentin Tarantino likes to do with his blood and stuff.
Kill Bill.
And
literally
that kind of stuff.
Literally Kill Bill with all the blood would just shoot out, kind of a thing.
Yeah. So it was, and the director is James Wan. I'm not sure what else he did. We should have known that.
We'll put it up right now.
But
if he did anything relevant,
yeah, I'm sure he did.
Well, it started to rain.
That's it.
Sorry if you can hear that. With that being said, let's get to the numbers quickly.
Yes.
I have a feeling that this is going to be another movie that Frank rates higher than me, and that doesn't happen much. So with that being said, Frank, go first.
All right. Like I said, it didn't disappoint me like I expected horror movies to disappoint now. So it's going to be above, obviously, a 5. Honestly, I would rate this movie a solid 8.
A solid 8.
A solid 8.
All right. Well, you did the calculator ready just in case?
Go ahead.
So, the fact that it kept losing me a lot of times, and the fact that the CGI I didn't really care for, definitely brought it down a lot for me. I'm gonna say this movie was a solid. It's hard for me to say because I want to start using different numbers instead of like 0.5 and 0.0s because of our top 10 list now. For right now, you know what? I'll worry about it later. 6.5.
6.5.
I think this movie was. I mean, of course, 5 would be average, but I feel as though this movie was a little above average. But I think it could have been a lot better if it didn't keep losing me as much. So, what does that bring our average score to, Frank?
7.25.
Which I know for a fact puts it at tied for number 9 on this list. So we got yet another movie added into our top 10 list,
Okay.
which now has, I think, 12 movies.
12 movies in the top 10.
I think for the next video, Frank and I are gonna sit down, look at the ratings, and see which of the tie movies were better than the other ones. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, we'll have some kind of...
Yeah. We'll have like a tiebreaker kind of a thing for
some
us.
kind of degree of...
Yeah, but for right now, there's like 12 movies with like 4th place being tied, like 7th, 9th now has 3 movies.
This way it won't be strict numbers. We'll adjust it so there'll be only one movie per place.
So I feel as though starting next video, you're gonna see an actual 10 for once, because the other one had 11 in it too.
Yeah.
With Protege being added in, so I made it 11. Excuse me, but I feel as though Frank and I are gonna have to sit down, talk about which of the tied movies deserve to be in the top 10 and which ones deserve to be higher than the other ones.
Yep.
And it's gonna be one of the things where it's like we're gonna have to agree. We can't just be like, oh, well, I thought this one was better than this one.
We'll work it out.
Yep. Well, it started the storm, guys. So,
yeah.
do we recommend this movie? I don't.
I do. I mean, with all the downside and stuff, I think the gore factor and the original concept. Well, I mean, we can't give it away, but
yeah.
I think you'll love it. The original concept of what's going on, it just pulls it. It outweighs the bad. It really outweighs the bad.
I say watch it. Save your money. Watch it on a streaming service, and go from there.
Big screen.
Well, it started the storm, guys. So with that being said, I'm Nate Heater.
And I'm Frank LaMontea.
And we are the Sup Dudes. So long.
Goodbye.
What? Wow, this is really starting to come. Yeah. I did not expect this to come down. Nope, you don't have your umbrella. I didn't have my microphone, so now we're like kind of shouting at the end.